Okay, speaking of really good music, let's go ahead and move on to, hey, you awake there, dude? You awake? You need some coffee? Somebody get this guy some donuts.
No, I'm awake.
Oliart, our featured artist of the night. How you doing tonight, sir?
Good, man.
Good. Well, I want to thank you for coming in early and hanging out with us, and getting stuff straightened up. Look in the feed there. You can see if you're this is just introducing you. Dave takes over the bulk of the interviewing because he's really good at contemplation and talking and stuff. I just pre-produced the show and put it all together. So I want to let you know that I like your music. You're really cool and you're a really nice guy so far. That's the key word.
Anything can happen.
Because we literally just met you tonight, so, it could be all front. But I want to let you know the reason you're on the show is because you stand way above and beyond, a lot of artists that we get submissions for what you're doing, your professionalism and stuff. So I just want you to kind of introduce yourself, let us know a little bit about the song Broken Chains, and then we're going to listen to that, and then we're going to come back and get deeper with Dave.
Well, I'm an LA musician and native from Los Angeles and lived a lot of places through, playing music. The Broken Chains album was a solo record, and that's the title track, Broken Chains. And basically, I wrote it with Craig T. Fall, a writing partner. He was with Stevie Wonder when he was like 16.
Nice.
And he was Glenn Campbell's second guitarist and a piano player. He played well enough, on the piano. So I write with him. We were friends. We played reggae a lot years ago, and we always just got along. And so we've written some good tunes together. And that's awesome. Him playing with me on that. That's the two of us and a tabla player on that tune.
Right on. Cool. So we're going to come back, get deeper with Dave. For now, let's go ahead and listen to Luis Oliart with Broken Chains. Everybody share this out, and we'll see you in a minute.
I know there's a man in the mirror that I don't know. He looks like me there, but somehow the hurt don't show. And I know that time won't heal no matter where I go. The days go by like the links on a broken chain. I run so far, but the voice in my head is the same. You walk this earth like a man on a one-way train. Restless dreams on a cold, dark night. Turn my head to the light. Them songs they play that never stop, and somehow the words ain't right. I know them changes will come if I stick to my guns and be the man to face the pain, or remain the same man, the man in the broken chains. The broken chains. I'll wait for a savior to find me and wash me clean. But daylight comes like a jailer with the...
Deeper with Dave, deeper with Dave. Oh, yeah.
Sponsored by...
Was that the first time it was a flawless transition?
I believe so.
I believe so. Wow. Show one. We had to wait till show 100 to do it perfect. But, all right, let's bring in Luis, man. Let's talk about this stuff, dude.
Okay. Hey.
Yeah. I really, really like the mix on this tune, dude. Like, this was, man, the professionalism on this. I listened with a couple different headphones. The panning and just the levels and the quality of the instrumentation was just like top notch, dude. So kudos on that. So why don't you say who those people were that kind of collaborated with you on that, like the production and the mixing?
Well, I'm I've produced most of the last 3 records that I've done with either a second person or myself. That was done at my house. And I basically, I'm an old school type of a person, so you got to just hit the tape, so to speak, well, and do good spacing on your mic. So I always make sure I hit the microphone well and make it sure it's in the performance. So when everything's just recorded nominally, it sounds great. So the mixing is truly just, icing on the cake. And then that was my buddy. So it's the performances of Craig and I. And then my buddy John Carta, who I have a music library with and is my composing partner. He's a great mixer. And thank you for saying that, because he knows what he's doing. And
yeah. So how long you been producing and mixing?
Personally, since about maybe about the last 10 years, I've been really where I've had the console in front of me. Years back, I was in the studio doing my own record, but there was always an engineer. You know what I mean?
Right. So you're well versed on the whole process. Like, the point I want to make is that, like, what you probably consider just subtle tweaks, which like mic position and things like that, dude, that's a big deal, because there's so many like independent artists and young artists that they overlook that stuff and they just don't think about it. And it comes across in the mix and they're sitting there wondering, why doesn't it sound better? And it's a point that Joe and we've been trying to make this, since we started, man, because those details are important.
Well, I always take a lot of time with the type of instrument that's chosen and making sure that they blend. And then you have the really good players playing it. That doesn't mean the guy's got to be proficient, but just good feeling. There's some synergy on there. But I would say that if I have a gift as a producer or something, it's that I take the time at the front end. I'll run lots of different tempos. I'll play it. I'll take some time with it to make sure it really sits nicely and it's a sweet spot. Because if you don't get that tempo right, you can blow the whole thing.
Yep.
So you don't want to back out of an era. So I just take the time at the front end and then make sure I've got the best guys at the back end.
Yeah, so this, like the style, like the down-home blues, just little folk, maybe a touch of country in the delivery. Americana for sure. But you know what I heard in this was there was some remnants of Doobie Brothers.
Nice, thanks.
Yeah, is that an influence of yours? Because I heard it's buried in there, but I heard it, dude. There's some transitions where it's like, that's Doobie Brothers. We're going back to 60s, 70s there. So
yeah, I mean, Craig and I are just both lovers of the blues. So we like the Three Kings, obviously, and then Ray Vaughan was the post-Hendrix revolution of the blues and revitalized all that. So we kind of grew up in that whole scene. And so, I just try to stay close to that as much as I can. Yeah,
and it's cool. I mean, it's still modern the way it was produced. I mean, there's a touch of Jack Johnson, but, the vocals is totally different. But, I love the slide guitar. Always being a big fan. I'm like into Derek Trucks now, who is, since Dwayne Allman, I've never heard a slide player as good as Derek Trucks, but
he gives me hope, man. That guy gives me hope for music. He really. I
know, but it's like there's this huge gap between like slide guitar legends, and it's like when I hear stuff like this, I'm like, whoa, that's not just like filler stuff, man.
Yeah,
that player's got some skills. Was that you, or was that
That's Craig and I both together. I'm playing the resonator. There might be a little bit of slide on my part, but most of those counterpoint things are Craig, and the high harmonies Craig also.
Cool.
Yeah, and then if you listen to that song, I mean, you listen, I'm rolling and I'm tumbling, I drive the whole night long.
Nice.
These are basically, it's a lot of traditions in that song. And then, I'm a Irish Spanish guy from LA, growing up in punk and new wave and rock and metal and Hairspray. So, I just try to just do what I love, man. It all comes.
Well, hey, what's your scene right now? Are you like, do you do a little touring? You play locally? You got like a regular weekly gig right there in LA or something?
Yeah, I'm enjoying the Red Door. I do the house band thing on Mondays. I perform. I have my own opening set, like a residency, and then I back up Doc Lawrence and the really good players. Scotty was with Pink Floyd, and the other guy was Rick Solon was with the Blasters. Doc was signed in his younger days. So it's a good little unit. And then we have lots of artists coming through there. And so I'm ending up backing up a variety of people in the course of a night. And I like that. It keeps me on top of my game.
Yeah.
I've been doing that and just really working the record. And then I'm trying to work on a live album with my band, The Hinges, where I'm doing my whole catalog, but live. And that's what I love the most.
Okay, sweet. So where can people find you online, and where can they buy your songs, man?
Well, you can just go luisoliart.com and hit that, and it's got a link to any, to get the record, the new record, the Just Another Day record, the Broken Chains record, and I had a solo record from about 10 years ago. Rob's
pointing to the lower third, but I think Rob injected an O in your name. I think it's just Luis, right?
Yeah,
Luis.
Okay.
Yeah, it's Luis Oliart. So
yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So Luis, thanks so much for coming by, man. Love your tune, and have a great night. We're gonna move on to the next song, and take care, my brother.
Thanks for doing what you're doing, fellas. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Good night, folks.